Good morning, everyone. My name is Mallory White. I'm going to talk to you today about using Autodesk BIM 360, specifically Glue and Field. As Megan said before, send your questions to the chat window and I'll answer them at the end of the webinar. What is BIM 360? BIM stands for Building Information Modeling, and 360 describes the accessibility of information anytime, anywhere. When you're on the project site, time is money, so being able to effectively collaborate from the office to the field is key to staying on budget. The way it works is that you're able to upload files, many of which you probably already use, like MicroStation, DWGs, Revit, Navisworks, PDFs, basically anything, and you'll upload it to the cloud and you'll manage your files from there. Then you'll be able to share your information with the field for commissioning, tracking, coordination, and handover. Basically, anyone you have defined as a user can access this information anywhere you are. This way, there's only ever one model or drawing on the cloud representing the most accurate information for the whole project team, even without Wi-Fi. Today, we'll be demonstrating the benefits and workflow processes of BIM 360 to help you with the most efficient, well-collaborated, and for the entire project team by accelerated project delivery, reducing risks, allowing tracking and coordination, and empowering the field to anticipate and take action. This flowchart shows a typical work week without BIM 360. You will notice the current flow processes in the field are fragmented, lacking centralization of the information, and promoting poor communication of the information by bottlenecking at the BIM manager. You're not getting the most out of your workflow, increasing the delivery time by at least a whole day. So you're not going to be able to get your deadline done until Friday, which means you don't get to go to happy hour, which is not fun. So this is a typical BIM 360 workflow. You're utilizing the cloud to help you with the heavy lifting, and by making it easy for the whole project team to access the information throughout the entire CA process, saving you time and money, while centralizing the most up-to-date information every time without duplication of information, and proactively managing quality, safety, and commissioning. This will eliminate any manual entry process without mounds of paperwork. And look, hey, you get done by Thursday and you get Friday free to do whatever you want. When using BIM 360, you're reducing risks by saving time, money, and not compromising on any quality and customer satisfaction. By using BIM 360, this allows you to keep track of all the changes directly on your Glue newsfeed, your field dashboard, or your Glue and iPad apps. Further creating a database of information for your project for commissioning and handover. You can track the change orders, RFIs, safety checks, QA/QC, equipment schedules, and deliveries, and in most cases, saving you at least 1 to 3 days per issue, which helps out with that workflow we were just talking about. These are the few user interfaces that you can use to access this information, which on the left you can see is the 360 Glue desktop. You can see that you also have the activities newsfeed, which is much like your Facebook newsfeed, making it easy for everybody to see exactly what everyone's doing. At the bottom, you'll see the browser interface for BIM 360 Field. This is looks a lot like your Glue interface. It helps with, you can see that also it has a dashboard there that helps you see your overall project issues and tracking issues and coordination problems and what has and hasn't been done. And on the right side, you'll see the iPad. All of this information is the exact same information from Glue and Field and also you have the Glue and Field iPad apps. So this is all at your fingertips, anywhere, anytime. So I'm going to do a short little demonstration here of an overview of the interface for the 360 Glue. You'll start out by signing into Glue via the desktop or online browser. The administrator of the project will set up the users and start to upload the models. Here you can see you have a 2D plan view along with a 3D perspective model view to help navigate around the model. So I'm going to move this over here, and then we're going to get this going. And you can move around, orbit, pan, etc., much like you do in all of the other Autodesk apps. You can begin by simply moving your project around, visual overview, making an visual overview, and making markups there as you go along. I'll go into how to run a clash detection a little bit later, and that will be more technical. This is more of a visual, this is wrong, hey, Joe, fix this for me. So this is where you can see that the photovoltaics are clashing with the mechanical equipment on the roof of this hospital. We're going to make a markup really quick. So you can go to markups, add a new markup, and then up here you can choose to use whatever color you choose. I'm going to use red, make it really impressive so everyone remembers it. And then I'm going to use the circle, and then I'm going to also use the squiggly line, which means that it's like a freehand, so you can use it with your cursor. This is going to make it doubly impressive. So next you can add a little note by clicking on the A, which lets you type out exactly what you want to write there. Also make sure that you click exactly where you want that note to go, because if you put it on top of your clash or your note, your circle, it won't show up as well. Also, we can go back here and we'll be able to send it to the project team members that it affects. Be careful, you don't want to send it, this allows you not to send it to the entire project team. And then the notifications are sent. Then we're going to go to the inbox here, and this is what it looks like when the notification is sent to your inbox. You can click exactly on the issue here, and it's going to take you straight to the issue. No signing in, no looking up. You don't have to look around, try to find exactly what this person was talking about. Then you can go straight to the issue, and it looks exactly like the way you set it up. And then we're going to look at how to run the clash detection in just a minute. This is where you can see the structural and the MEP. We're going to run clash detection on the structural and MEP, let you see exactly how that works. So you're going to choose from compare to compare to. We're going to compare the ducts, the flex ducts, and the duct fittings to the structural columns and framing. And we're going to name it, and we're going to keep the tolerance at 0. So it only takes a few seconds to run the clash detection. Then you get a complete list of everything that's clashing. And then once you click on one of the clashes, it goes straight into the where the clash is happening. So you don't have to look around and try to find it. Then we can create markup and send it to your MEP specialist for them to make the corrections. This particular example is the MEP model, so we're going to send this to the MEP consultant, not the whole project team. We're going to send it to Ed Roy, and then we're going to see how he opens it in his model. So this is opening it in Revit. You'll be able to open your clash point detections and then choose exactly what host you're using, and then you'll be able to see exactly where he can go in and see exactly where to make those changes with the ducting. This will let them update their model, and you can mark the issue as resolved, upload the updated model to Glue, then you can be on to the next issue. So next we're going to talk about field anticipation and action. By using these applications, you are promoting efficiency and empowering the field team members to anticipate and take action. Efficiency is contagious. Who doesn't want to be efficient so they can get out and not have to work on the weekends? All of the companies and firms we've worked with are reluctant to go to the cloud. But once the standards are in place, we're able to help everyone work more efficiently and create better relationships with one another with no arguing over who did or didn't do their job. Everything is tracked digitally, so there's always going to be a paper trail. So that makes it interesting. As you can see, when the contractor creates an issue in the iPad, it is stored on the cloud for the admin to track. The subcontractor then completes the work and fills out the form on the iPad, which is also stored in the cloud, and the admin, who are either contractors, architects, engineers, whoever's using this as their tracking software, can then access the information. They can go and inspect the work, and either it passes or it fails. If it fails, it does not pass go and collect $200, and then they start the process all over again. Meanwhile, all of these actions are stored in the cloud and kept track of digitally. So we'll go through a little bit of a field demo on the iPad now. I'm going to go through this. What you need to do is you need to sign in on your iPad, desktop or iPad or desktop browser, internet browser. This demo is from the iPad version. You do not need to be connected to the Wi-Fi network to work on your project. You can access Wi-Fi connectivity after all of your work is complete, and it will automatically update. So let's choose some documents from our library to demonstrate. You can use DWG, PDF, models, and various other formats. So I'm going to choose from the architectural PDFs. Then you can click on the plan, and you can zoom in and out, just like you can any other iPad app, by pinching and pulling and moving. This lets you zoom into exactly what you need to see. You can magnify things so that you can see everything that you need to see. You can set up checklists and templates for inspection so that anyone can go straight to the site and check off a task for completion. This is really helpful. So you're not carrying around a ton of papers. It's always tracked. We're going to just walk through a little bit of this. If you tag a checklist as not conforming, it will create an issue. So this is a list of things that you can say, yes, no, this has been completed. If it has not been completed, it will create an issue, and you can add attachments and photos and make markups and all kinds of stuff to let everyone know that this needs to be addressed. So this is where we're going to go into and look at the photo, and then we'll mark it up with the tools that are in there. The pencil tool, and make arrows, and then so everyone is really clear that duct needs to be taken care of. So then we can go, and then you can also manage the issues right there in field by going to the Issues tab. So this is a list of all the issues that have been made and customized. You can look by floor, room number, you can customize that, and then you can see all the list of issues that are there. You can also look at it in floor plan, and you'll see the thumbtacks that show up, and you can add thumbtacks where there's problems. You can see that some of them have been taken care of, some of them haven't. If they are green, they've been taken care of, and obviously red means they haven't. So we're going to add a thumbtack and give it some information. You can also keep track of equipment, installations, delivery schedules, etc. Here in the field, I can track and update each item and locate it in the model. I can look at the checklists associated with that piece of equipment, the issues, and all the attachments. You can also look at it in 3D in the model. So this is a pump. So you can either look at it by itself in the actual interface, or you can turn off all the other models so you can see what it's connecting to. So we're going to create a push pin in the model. And then we're going to say that it's a high importance, not approved, and needs to be taken care of. And this is the equivalent of taking paper to the field and marking up on paper where those issues are. Each issue is tracked separately, so it's always located in that activity feed if you're trying to find what Joe did that day. So this is just a case study. These are a few of the uses that Balfour Beatty used BIM 360 for. They had real-time access and information when they needed it, anytime, anywhere. So this got them really mobile and up and moving in the field. So they weren't tied to a desk in either the trailer on site or in an office. And most importantly, the return on investment was more than 300%, cutting labor hours on almost half the time they would normally have. One more case study is Clayco. 40% that we got them up using at least 40% of their workforce with iPads on over 50 active projects. And they also came back and said that after using the BIM 360 applications, that the average BIM coordination meeting was less than 2 hours, which is completely unheard of. So I'm going to go into a little bit of a live demo now. I'm going to show you what Glue looks like on your internet browser. Let's see, Glue. It looks exactly the same. I have all the same information as you will see in a minute when I show you the desktop browser. So in this one in particular, I have mechanical and structural. So these are all the information. This is all the information you're going to see, the exact same thing. So this lets you be able to access the same information from your desktop to your browser to your iPad. So that's kind of like the workflow process. So it'll go from desktop to browser to iPad and back and forth. You can go either way. It's always there. It's always the same information. So we'll go to the desktop browser and look at this. So let me go back to, this is what it looks like when you first open it and sign in. So you can choose the exact project that you want to work on that day. And they have multiple projects. And then let's see, that's what it looks like when you open it. So what you're going to want to do is, these are all the models that are separately loaded into here. So you're going to want your architectural, mechanical, structural, all to be separate. You can even separate it as far as using only first floor, second floor, third floor, roof, anything. So the further you break it up, the better, the more easy it is to merge them as separate models and run clash detection and keep track of them. So what I have currently loaded is the architectural model, the mechanical models, and structural models for a hospital. And you can see these the structural models are loaded by first, second, and third floors, and so on and so forth. And then what we're going to do is also go in here and merge a model. So I've already merged one in case this messes up for some reason. But what you would do is you click merge model, and then you go to I'm going to do mechanical and structural just so I can run a clash detection a little bit later on. So I'm going to choose mechanical, and full structural. That is, and I'll name it MEP structure demo. Merge my models. Will take a few seconds. It's loading the mechanical, it's loading the structural. And then you get your whole model in here, ready to go. So just a few things. You can orbit, pan, zoom, just like you would in any other Autodesk product. If you select the arrow over here, you can start selecting objects in here and hiding them if you choose. You can hide. You can also select them and look at all the properties associated with them. So I can look at the volume, the parameter, the area. So you have all that information in here already. So you don't have to keep going back and forth to the model, hoping that it opens. Okay, so another flyout over here is measuring. You can use the point-to-point, angle, area, shortest distance. The point-to-point is normal, what you would think a normal tape measure would do. So you can select a point and then select the other end of it or in between, and it gives you the exact measurement that you're wanting. Let me clear that off. My favorite tool in the measure is the shortest distance. So if I wanted to run a shortest distance, I would select the tool, come down here and choose any element. I'm going to choose this one and this one. Oops. This one. And it tells me exactly the shortest distance between those two objects. And it only shows those two objects so that I can see exactly which ones I've chosen and which ones I ran to see what the shortest distance is between those two. So those are just a little bit of an overview of the measure tools. So I'm going to clear this and then I'm going to close this. The next is the models that are loaded. So you can see the hospital, mechanical, and structural that are loaded. I can turn off the mechanical and look at only structural. I can turn off the structural and only look at mechanical. Look how crazy that is. That is intense. So the next thing we can look at is views. Oh, let me talk about the models really quick a little bit more. I can add in other models to merge into this model. So if I wanted to bring in the architectural model and look at it in comparison to the structural and MEP, you're more than welcome to do that here. And you can also create a new merged model if you choose. You could just say, okay, I want to look at the structural and the architectural, so you don't have to go back to the original desktop version and look at that and have to merge it through there and then open it again. You can do it all right here. You can also, if your models come in the wrong spot, in the wrong coordinates, so you can also move them in this menu as well to be the right coordinate system. And you can also set up equipment sets, and then you can also share with field. So if I click here, this is where you would share it with BIM 360 field. Next is setting up views. You have shared views and my views. Share views, we'll see, everyone in the whole project team will be able to see it, or the ones that you allow to see it. And then my views are only the views that I want to see and I want to keep track of for myself. You can set up new views. You can add a section, which this is a cool tool. So this little window will pop up and I can move this across back and forth. And this guy will cut down and let you make views based on this. So if I only want to see that the top of the mechanical equipment, that's how you can make that view. Or you can just hide that slab as well. So I'm going to cancel that. You can also make folders within the views. So if I only want to have a folder with only mechanical, only structural, only architectural views, you can have that as well. And then let's go to the next. We can make markups. We've already been over how to make markups. This is just how you would add the markup. I would make a markup here. You can change the color here. You can add text about check the slab. And press enter, and that's where it's going to make sure wherever you click the first time to put the text in is where you want the text to be, because you can't move it once it's been there already. And then you can save, and it creates a markup for you. You can also email this markup to whoever's on your project team that it affects or who needs to take care of it. And then I'm not going to do that because it might confuse my project team at this point. But yeah, and then you can edit it as well. So I can go back again, change the color and say, okay, this has been taken care of, or I can delete it. Nope. So I can delete it as well. So the next thing is, this is the most beneficial. So let me change this really quick so you can see exactly what this does. Let me change my project to the overall hospital project. Merged hospital project, whoops. Let's see, go merged. It's not letting me do what I want to do. This is where I want to go, merged model. So then you can see the activity feed associated with your project and track exactly what everyone has been doing to your project. Whether it be making markups, making views, measuring things, all of that stuff can be tracked with your activity feed. Let's see, there we go. See, you get a whole list of your activities that have been going on. Next, we're going to run clash detection really quick. New, what you do is you click on the little boxes that are intersecting with one another. You'll click new. This is really cool. It shouldn't take very long to do. So we'll run the architectural, well, let's run the mechanical, and we'll run the structural. And we'll run, say, MEP, clash, struck, clash, number 1. I'm going to say find clashes. Shouldn't take but 2 seconds. And then, so this will give you an overview and tell you exactly how many you might have. Then I'm going to close this out so we can start looking at it. We'll click on 258 and it should take us straight to 258. Since I can't see that, I'm going to go turn off, that was it. Turn off the architectural and the site. So it's not looking through all of that, and go back to my clash detection. And then this little node that's not orange like the other ones is going to be the number 258 that it's talking about with the clash. I can pan around, orbit around, and see exactly where it's clashing. Then previously, like I said before, you can also email this particular clash to people in your project team. Yeah, and then they can take care of that with their model. And then re-glue it and it's all back to normal. Back how it should be, at least. And then you can add attachments to this as well, photos, PDFs, anything that you need to be in the project. Okay, so I'm going to close out of this and then open up Field. This is what Field looks like, BIM 360 Field. You open it up and it's on dashboard mode, so you can see all of your project. Up here is where you would choose a specific project you're associated with. This is just a sample for this purposes. So you can see the tracked issues, the average time it takes to close an issue, root causes of issues, companies that need to resolve issues. Let me go down the side. You can see the issues that are open and closed. There should be quite a few in here, I think. Yeah. So you can see where people have added attachments, made comments, and it's all here at your fingertips. This is also on, you have Field on your iPad and your internet browser, so you can be anywhere, anytime. You can create a new issue by clicking Add, and then you can define exactly what you want to include in that issue. We can say, I'm going to click number 1, fix slab at room number 201, and then I can say my root cause is concrete. Click OK. It comes back again. You may want to assign a specific company, so we'll say Microdesk, and we'll make it a medium priority. Well, it's probably high if it's concrete, and then we'll just click save for the time being. There's tons of options to add to that, and then we will go through the rest of this. Click save, and it should be in there. Yeah, let's see. I don't know, I guess it's in there. So next thing on the list is tasks. This is a calendar view, so you can add tasks, reminders, basically anything. This is kind of like where you can look at it visually and understand what you've got to do for the week. So this particular one was last week. So if we can get it to open. Yeah, there we go. So this is a task that you can add to your calendar, and you can assign it to certain team members. You can create an issue out of it. You can add checklists to it. Checklists allow you to go to the site and check things off individually. Equipment, you can add equipment to it. Attachments, make comments, look at the history, who's looked at it, who hasn't checked off the checklist, who said, okay, the equipment's arrived, all of that kind of stuff can be in there. You can create checklists for your team members. This allows them to just take an iPad to the site and say yes, no, maybe, not approved, approved. You can create new ones by clicking here, and then there's a whole panel of things that will open up for you to add new checklists. You can create templates so that it's always, if it's a QA/QC or a safety check, you can just say, okay, this is, you can add the date to it and say this is what was done today. And it's the exact same checklist every time, but it's done on a different date. You can set up daily updates for yourself based on the calendar. You can set up equipment checklists, equipment sets. This allows you to keep track of all your equipment that's been delivered, scheduled to be installed, approved, not approved, and it's all right here. And you can also click them, edit them, delete them, print them, import them into other programs, all kinds of things. And you can also keep a library. So you can put models, any other resources, equipment, photos, PDFs, DWGs, whatever needs to go in here to keep track of. And you can, let's open one of these and look at it really quickly. Oh, nothing's in there. Let's see, look at some photos. So these are going to be geothermal pipelines. So in here, you can go in here and mark these up. Turn off your annotation if you want to, and then move on to the next one. And then we go back to field. We can run reports. You can run it against issues, tasks, checklists, all of the things that you've been entering information for, you can run reports on. So this is really interesting. Issues, you can have a bar graph, pie chart, line graph, anything that you need that's going to visually help you make your workflow go so much faster. So we've covered basically BIM 360, Field, and Glue, and I hope that you guys understand everything a little bit better. So now once you've run reports and things, just so this is what you're seeing on the screen, you can see on your dashboard again, it's been updated, that since I've added issues and things to take care of. So we'll go back to the slide for Q&A. I hope that, oh wait, we need to go back to the summary. So these are a few helpful things. I hope that you learned a little bit from this. To help you win more work, create best of practices for your owners, and improve profitability.